Hello, I'm Ming Chao. My thesis topic is ambulance dispatch performance evaluation. So this is a poster of this project. In this demonstration, I'll talk about the content of this poster in detail. Firstly, I'll introduce the background and the task flow. Two related works will be discussed then. After that, I'll introduce the two clustering methods are implemented in this study. And in the end, I'll show you a dashboard I developed for visualizing the analyzed result, and the result will be discussed as well. Ambulance, as one of the most common emergency medical service, is vastly deployed all around the world. Timely ambulance dispatch can effectively raise the patient's survival rate. However, it is undeniable that diseases and accidents usually happen accidentally, so it is impossible to predict the exact time and location. While the uncertainty and the unpredictability of an accident increase the difficulty for a timely ambulance response, other factors such as the dispatching distance, case priority, and the availability of ambulance service will also lead to an overtime response. This study focuses on investigating how case priority and ambulance station deployment influence the ambulance response time. The data used in this study is road crash-related ambulance dispatch record in Queensland between 2015 and 2018. In data preprocessing stage, through crawling case coordinates according to the given geoinformation, extracting case priority from MPDS code and calculating the case response time. 36,911 cases which contain the complete data have been filtered out for the following investigation. Medical priority dispatch system is widely used in determining case priority before dispatching ambulances. A retrospective study of Perth ambulances and dispatching emphasized the importance of case priority in assigning limit emergency medical service results to the most needed area in order to win a higher survival rate. MPDS help dispatchers determine case priority through asking the parties a few questions. Although the MPDS has a very complete principle of determining case priority, because in many cases the parties do not have professional knowledge and are frightened, inaccurate answers may lead to the misclassification of case priority. Rely on the satellites and related systems. Dynamic ambulance deployment models have been applied in many areas. A study on the dynamic ambulance deployment model implemented in Turkey has proved the effectiveness of the model in reducing the average ambulance response time. Benefit from the real-time supervision technology. Ambulance will be rotated to the high-demand area and also be navigated to maintain the maximal service coverage. In K-means clustering deployment, reference to the current station number, I set K as 220. Through calculating the distance between a case coordinate and a centroid, the total cases have been assigned into K clusters, and the centroids of each cluster is the locations for deploying ambulance stations. K-means guarantee that each case will be assigned to the nearest ambulance station, but the distance cannot guarantee that an ambulance can arrive at the site in a short time. dbScan is implemented based on a prescribed density of sample points. This graph shows an example of a DB scan cluster. Taking 10 kilometers as radius, circular areas centered at the case locations are drawn, which generates an area. The yellow line drawn along the overlap area of case's circular area. Theoretically, if ambulance patrol along this yellow line, it can respond to all the cases in this graph. Therefore, set EPS as 0.1, which refer to the geodistance of 10 kilometers. Multiple minimum number of points have been applied in DB scan. We expect the cluster number does not exceed the deployable capacity. Here is the DB scan result. And we can find a big difference between the number of cases in different clusters. We supposed a certain number of ambulances can patrol within the cluster areas. Calculating the annual dispatch number a station is assigned, each station are supposed to serve for at least 40 cases. Then, according to the proportion of number of elements in each cluster to the total number of cases, we can decide the ambulance numbers and then the station numbers in different clusters. Using these numbers, further k-means clustering has been implemented on each cluster of DB scan result, and the centroids will be the location for deploying stations as well. A dashboard has been developed to visualize the general statistics and analyze the result. The structure of this dashboard is Flask. MySQL has been applied to store the original data and some big volume analyze the result, which took a long time to work out. So this is the page of the general information. Data was represented from different aspects. The ambulance response time and the patient survival rate are commonly used to evaluate the ambulance service performance. But from the final assessment count, we can find that only 207 diseased cases among all, which means the survival rate of cases in this data set is too high to reflect the quality of ambulance service performance. Besides, although the parties in the majority of cases survived, it doesn't mean that they were not affected by a poor ambulance service. For example, parties may have sequelae due to not getting timely medical treatment. Thus, in this study, ambulance service performance is evaluated based on the case response time. According to a study about the EMS response time for traffic accident, ambulances are supposed to arrive at the accident scene within 10 minutes. From this bar chart, we can find that nearly half of the ambulance dispatches that are over the prescribed response time. This page is about the information about the case priority. According to the MPDS principle, the dispatch records in this study belongs to 4 priority levels as shown in this table. According to their definitions, Delta and Bravo cases are the high priority cases, while the other 2 types are the low priority. We can find that the low priority cases only occupy a very tiny proportion of the total. And on the right, it's classified the case response time by case priority. We can find the response time class distribution of Delta and the Bravo cases are similar to the overall distribution. However, the proportion of timely responded alpha cases becomes smaller. So there is one MPDS principle that when the EMS result is limit, Low priority cases would be queued so that ambulance will be dispatched to high priority cases first. This principle can be used to explain the alpha cases pie chart. However, the proportion of timely responded omega cases grow again and become larger than delta and bravo. Queried all the delta and bravo cases that happen 1 hour before individual alpha and omega cases, and calculated the distance between individual high priority cases and low priority cases. The result indicates that only 2 alpha cases and 14 omega cases that have high priority cases happen nearby within 1 hour. In addition, considering such small percentage of low priority cases, here is a conclusion that although applying MPDS, since most cases have been determined as high priority cases, there is no many opportunities to queue a low priority case for other high priority cases. So the case priority is not a main factor extending the ambulance response time. According to the prescribed response time, the service area defined in this study is a circular area with radius of 10 kilometers, centered at the ambulance station. The total service area of current 207 ambulance station is shown in this map. Displaying the heat map layers of timely responded cases, we can find the majority of them are covered by the station's service area. But if displaying the overtime responded cases, we can find many of them are out of the service area. Therefore, one key factor of ambulance responding overtime is that ambulances are too far away to reach the case locations. Comparing to the current ambulance station deployment, we can find more stations are deployed in remote areas by K-means clustering method. Correspondingly, stations deployed in high population density area become less, which may result in the increase of stations burden in high population density area. As shown by the heat map, there is still a large sum of overtime cases that happen in high population density areas. Besides, although more ambulance stations are deployed in remote areas, many of them are only assigned a small number of cases. In addition, because K-means clustering not guarantee the distance between each element and its paired centroid. So even all the cases have been assigned into its closed station, it may still out of the station's service area. And finally, the DB scan result removed 2,816 cases happened in remote areas as outliers. 223 ambulance stations have been deployed. We can find more stations are concentrated in high population density areas. Although the EMS capacity in high density area increased, the case happened in remote areas cannot be neglected. So on one hand, more quick and advanced EMS can serve for the cases in remote areas. On the other hand, applying the ambulance patrol model, ambulance stations are not supposed to generate individual service area to cover the nearby cases, but can be deployed sparingly to provide logistics support for patrolling ambulance. And in this way, Some EMS resources can be deployed in remote area. Some limitations also exist in this study. Firstly, this study only focuses on the road crash-related ambulance dispatch. Ambulances dispatching to other types of diseases and accidents also occupy a large amount of emergency medical service resource and may contribute to overtime response on road crash-related accidents. But without the dispatch record for other purpose, how other types of cases influence ambulance service performance of road crash-related cases is hard to be analyzed. Secondly, the final assessment of each record cannot help identifying the accuracy of case priority determination because it is about the pathogen. Related expertise and manual review on case comments is required to find the correlation between case priority and final assessment. Finally, I only consider the straight distance on calculating the similarity when implementing clustering methods. However, in many cases, there is a lot of difference between driving distance and straight distance. Taking driving distance and driving time into consideration when calculating the similarity of cases will be better, but getting this information is very expensive. So this is all about my project demonstration. Thanks for watching.